Okay, here we go. We are making dauphine potatoes. It's D-A-U-P-H-I-N. Dauphine potatoes. All right, now what you're gonna have to make is pot au choux first. This is the pot au choux here. That's 1 cup of water, 1 stick of butter, or half stick of butter, half margarine, or all margarine. It doesn't matter. I like to use the butter because there's not a lot of water in the butter. There is a lot in the margarine. All right, anyway, that's 1 cup of water and 1 stick of butter. All right, now you're going to put that on the stove and let it boil. The reason I cut those into little pieces is because if you leave it whole, oh, there goes a little salt. I forgot the salt. There you go. That's probably a half a teaspoon. But anyway, if you leave the butter whole, by the time it melts, a lot of the water has boiled out of it, out of the pan. So you got to chop the butter up so that when the water melts, it's, you know what I mean, and the water boils, the butter melts, and boom, there you go. It didn't lose any water. Okay, now there goes 5 ounces of flour, all-purpose flour, 5 ounces. All right, now watch what happens here. This is what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to clean the pot or the pan. You can do this with the mixer. I like to feel it at this stage. I want to make sure that it feels good, you know, good and thick. It's got to be thick. All right, now watch this. It completely comes out of the pan. There's nothing left in the pan. All right, now we're going to put it in the mixer, and then we're going to add the eggs. Wait, let me see if I show you the pan here. I don't remember. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. There's nothing left. Okay. All right, now you add the eggs to the flour, butter, and water. And it's 4 eggs. Now listen, you have to add 1 egg at a time. And you have to make sure it's completely incorporated before you put in the next egg. I speeded this film up a little bit, so it takes a little bit longer than what it shows here to mix the eggs in. You know, this is in high speed. All right, so we have the eggs mixed in, 4 eggs, 5 ounces of flour, 4 ounces of butter, and 1 cup of water. That's all that is, and some salt, a little bit of salt. It's a very bland item, you know. It's very bland. Pot au choux, you know, the cream puff, the outside of the cream puff is very bland. So what that tells me is you have to add something to it so it's not bland. So in other words, if you put pastry cream and strawberries and blueberries, then it works. All right, here I had enough left where I'm going to make 2, well, actually 1.5 cream puffs. This is regular pot au choux. This is not the dauphine potatoes. This is regular stuff right here. So what I did was I greased that pan and I put some flour on it, and it's going to go into the oven at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes. Check them at that time, and if they're doing okay, don't worry, leave it at 400 for maybe 20 minutes, and then turn them down to 325 until they're done. Now, how do you know they're done? Well, you got to pick them up, and they're very light. You know, if you thump them, they sound hollow. You know, I would say it takes about 40 minutes to bake them. You know, that's counting the 400 degrees for 10-15 minutes, and then and then the 3 1/4 degrees. It probably takes about 40 minutes. Okay, now here's the fryer. I have the fryer set on 375. It's not quite up there yet. You know, I could have waited another minute. It's not, you know, hot as it should be. Not yet. But anyway, 375. Now look, you take a spoon and you try to get them all the same size. So you have a spoon and a little rubber spatula, and you know, you spoon them into the hot grease. Also, every now and then, just dip the spatula in the oil, just to you know, so that they move off the spoon easier. You know, and they kind of keep that shape. There you go. See, look, I just tapped it into the oil, and that does help. Okay, anyway, now they're going to fry, and believe it or not, they fry for about 7 to 10 minutes. They really do take a long time to cook. But you have to make sure they are cooked, because otherwise what you're going to have is you're going to have a paste on the inside of them if they're not completely cooked. And the paste is gross. So, you know, just make sure they're cooked between 7 and 10 minutes. You know, it depends how many you put in. Depends how close they are inside the grease. You know, there's a lot of variables there. Depends on how big they are. Don't make them too big, otherwise it's real hard to cook them inside. All right, now watch. When these get a little bit stiff, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the basket. There we go. And put the basket on top. That way I don't have to flip them over, you know, and pay too much attention to them. Okay, so that's that. 375 on the fryer and 400 on the oven. All right, there they come. These are done. If you use your fryer like I did, you need a spider. Watch, I'll show you what a spider is. There it is right there. That's called a spider. So if you use your basket to weigh them down, then you got to have some kind of thing to get them out. And be careful, because they're very delicate. I'm telling you, man, they're full of air. And also, you know, potatoes. I mean, they're not hollow like the cream puffs, but they're full of air. You know, what's good about these potatoes is you can add anything you want on top of them. Anything you want. You could put cream of mushroom soup on them. You could put sour cream. You could put ketchup. You could put... Oh, you know what's good on them is beef gravy. Beef gravy is really, really nice on these. Listen, they don't have a lot of flavor on their own. Don't forget, it's only mashed potatoes and pot au choux. So it's not a really flavorful thing. So it's up to you to put what you want in the dough as you're, you know, before you get to the fryer. Put whatever you want in there. Be careful, don't add too much salt, because you have salt in the mashed potatoes, hopefully. You know, you could put rosemary, parsley, you know, it's just whatever you want. You could put cheese on them when they come out, Parmesan, cheddar, you know, whatever you want to do. Like I said, you got to remember, they don't have a lot of flavor on their own. Pot au choux has very little flavor. There's hardly none. And well, the mashed potatoes, I made those last night. I ate mashed potatoes last night, and I had some extra. So I figured, all right, let me make these dauphine potatoes. So that's what I did. The pot au choux recipe, again, is 1 cup of water. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. 1 cup of water, 1 stick of butter, a pinch of salt. Actually, I put in about half a teaspoon of salt, and flour. Flour was 5 ounces. Now look, when I make this, today I measured it. But normally I don't measure the flour. I just add it in until I get the right thickness. But this recipe was so small, I figured I'd follow the recipe because it's very small. I mean, the recipe I have makes like 400 cream puffs. You know, so I don't feel like breaking it all down. So I just looked up a recipe of pot of choux, and that's what they came up with, pot of choux, right there. Okay, that thing is boiling away. I end up with a lot of them. I mean, you can eat a lot of them, believe me. You know, I just ate 6 of them. I mean, it's not hard to do. They're very light. I can't tell you. I can't stress that enough. These things are light, man. They're really nothing. You know, and plus the flavor it's a very mild flavor. So you have to add stuff to it. You know, garlic would be good. Thyme would be good. And of course you got to have the gravy, some kind of gravy over it. Now this stuff that I made last night, I'll show you what it is here coming up. But I made this, I had some ground beef that I took out of the freezer, and I made Mojo a couple dinners, but then I didn't do anything with it. So last night what I did was I got some portobello mushrooms and onions. Oh, and a green pepper out of my freezer. And I put them all together. I browned the ground beef. I sauteed the mushroom and onion. And then, and garlic. And then I added a can of tomato sauce and a can of diced tomatoes. All right, I let it boil for a little while, and I ate it with the mashed potatoes. It was really good. It's kind of like sloppy joes, kind of. I mean, I didn't put a lot of seasoning in because I wanted to taste the beef, the onion, the mushroom, and the peppers. By the way, I bought these peppers from this fruit stand. They were 7 for $1. So I figured, oh shit, I bought 14 of them, okay? And I put them in a bag and I put them in the freezer. And that was a long time ago. That was at least 6 months ago. And I took one out last night. That's the first time I've used them. And man, I gotta tell you, man, they were perfect. They were perfect. I mean, there was nothing wrong with them at all. Being frozen for 6 months, these things were perfect. Well, I also have a real, a deep freeze, real cold freezer, so that probably helped. But anyway, they were perfect. All right, so I have the beef, the green peppers, the mushrooms, the onion, 1 can of chopped tomatoes, and 1 can of tomato sauce. I put it all together, and I boiled it. All right. Then I had mashed potatoes and I don't know what else. I don't know, corn or something. I don't know. But the sauce from the beef, put it on top of the potatoes. Oh, and I made some garlic bread, to soak up the sauce. Man, that was good shit, I'm telling you. That was really good. In fact, I still have some left. I'll do something with it tomorrow. What? I don't know, but I will do something with it. Okay, now today I had some of it with dauphine potatoes. Wait, I'll show you when it comes up. Right now I'm still frying these things. Man, this is taking forever. Jeez. It does take a long time to fry them. I don't know why. It depends on how clean your grease is. If your grease is kind of dirty, they look brown quicker. That grease I'm using is pretty clean. Here's what I do with my deep fryer and the grease. Here's what I do. When I'm done, I put the deep fryer somewhere on the counter. Just get it out of the way. And then when the grease cools, I put it into a coffee can. Those plastic coffee things that you buy coffee in? That's what I do. I pour the grease into 2 of those, and I put it in the refrigerator. And I'll tell you what, if you do that, you will never have rancid grease. I have had rancid grease, and man, it's horrible. You know, I mean, it's just bad. It puts a toxic cloud in your house. You know what I mean? It's really bad. It's not good. So anyway, if you take the grease out and put them into the refrigerator, then you're good to go. All right, there's my 2 cream puffs there. Those are all the potatoes that came out of that one little batch. That's a lot of potatoes. Okay, here I'm gonna have some. Okay, watch this. Wait, I need a different knife. It's hard to cut, especially when they're hot. It's hard to cut those with a straight edge knife. You need a bread knife, you know, a serrated blade. All right, now these are just the cream puffs right here. These are ordinary cream puffs. Okay, look, they're kind of hollow, but they have a little bit of egg left. That always happens. There's a little bit left. So now all you got to do is just pull that out, and now you have a hollow cup. Okay, you pull it out, and boom, you're done. Okay, here comes that beef stuff that I made, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure. I don't know, but it tastes good. You know what would be good in here is chicken, you know, like a chicken pot pie filling. That would be good. Or a good beef, you know, like tenderloins chopped up into small pieces. Like I said, you're not going to cook these potatoes every week for your family. No, you're not going to do that. So, you know, like if friends came over, you could, you know, impress them with these potatoes. You could put shrimp or lobster or anything in that cup. Okay, look, I don't think you're going to find this anywhere else. But I tell you what, if you do, nothing's better than this right here. I got to go. I got to eat.